Picture this. You're sipping your morning coffee, scrolling through your phone, completely unaware that someone in your life, someone you might even trust, is quietly plotting your downfall. Not just wishing you'd trip up or fail, but something far darker. They smile at you, laugh at your jokes, maybe even hand you a latte with that perfect foam swirl, all while hiding a chilling truth. They want you gone. Erased. Out of the picture for good. Sounds like something out of a thriller movie, doesn't it? But here's the terrifying reality. Truth is often scarier than fiction. Right now, someone in your orbit could be masking their true intentions behind a charming facade. And you wouldn't suspect a thing until it's too late. Why? Because hatred is loud and obvious. But murderous intent? It wears a mask, a polished, Instagram filtered, I'm just being friendly mask that's almost impossible to spot until the damage is done. This video isn't about scaring you into locking your doors or cutting off your friends. It's about survival. It's about arming you with the knowledge to spot the subtle, bone-chilling signs that someone doesn't just dislike you, they want you permanently out of their way. What you're about to learn are 5 undeniable, often overlooked behaviors that could signal danger. These aren't wild guesses or tinfoil hat conspiracy theories, they're rooted in psychological patterns, real-world stories, and the kind of instincts we've been conditioned to ignore. Recognizing these signs could save your life, or someone else's. So, before we dive into the darkness, do yourself a favor. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. Trust me, after this, you'll never look at friendly the same way again. Ready to uncover the truth? Let's dive in. Sign number 1. The silent observer. Let's start with one of the most insidious and dangerously overlooked red flags. The silent observer. This isn't your average nosy neighbor peeking over the fence or a social media lurker liking your posts from 3 years ago. No, this is something far more calculated, far more sinister. The silent observer doesn't just watch you, they study you. They catalog your life with the precision of a detective building a case. Memorizing your routines, your habits, your coffee order, even the exact time you hit the gym or swing by the grocery store. And they do it so quietly, so subtly, that you might not notice until it's too late. Imagine this. You're at your usual coffee shop, ordering your go-to vanilla latte, when you notice someone familiar lingering nearby. They don't say much, maybe just a quick, hey, or a polite nod. But they're always there, at the park where you jog, at the grocery store where you grab your weekly produce, at the gym, right when you're finishing your cooldown. At first, it feels like a coincidence, small world, right? But then it happens again, and suddenly, you realize they know things about you they shouldn't, like the fact that you switched gyms last month or started taking a new route to work. How do they know? Why are they always there? What makes the silent observer so dangerous is how easily we dismiss them. We've been trained to shrug off these patterns as paranoia, to laugh at ourselves for overthinking. But predators thrive on that hesitation. They weaponize your self-doubt, banking on the fact that you'll second-guess your instincts until it's too late. I heard a story about a woman named Christine, a mid-level manager with a seemingly normal life. After a messy breakup, her ex-boyfriend kept popping up in her orbit. At first, she thought it was just him struggling to let go, showing up at her favorite coffee shop, lingering near her office, or bumping into her at the park. She brushed it off, even when her friends raised an eyebrow. He's just obsessive, they said. But then Christine noticed something unsettling. He wasn't just around. He knew her new gym schedule. He knew she'd switched grocery stores. He even knew her new commute route, despite her never sharing it. It wasn't obsession, it was premeditation. Silent observers don't just stumble into your life repeatedly, they engineer those moments with chilling intent. They're not there for closure or reconciliation. They're gathering data, eliminating uncertainty, waiting for the perfect moment to act. Ancient philosophers like Epictetus warned us about this kind of deception. He said that a wise person doesn't just watch others, they guard their own peace, their own sense of order. When someone disrupts that order, showing up too often, knowing too much, or lingering without a clear reason, it's not harmless. It's a signal to investigate, not excuse. In today's hyperconnected world, surveillance doesn't require a shady van parked outside your house. It's as simple as following your Instagram stories, tracking your check-ins, or piecing together your life through mutual friends. The most dangerous people aren't the ones screaming threats in public. They're the ones smiling politely while mentally mapping your every move. So, what can you do? Start paying attention to patterns. If someone keeps appearing in your life without a clear reason, especially after you've tried to distance yourself, that's not fate. It's a red flag. Trust your instincts. They're not overthinking, they're insight. Your discomfort is your mind's way of saying, something's wrong. Don't ignore it. Sign number 2. The overly attentive ally. Next up, let's talk about the person who seems too perfect. They're always there with a compliment, a helping hand, or a thoughtful gesture, like bringing you your favorite snack or remembering a tiny detail about your life. At first, it feels flattering, doesn't it? Who doesn't love someone who notices the little things? But here's the catch. Sometimes, that attention isn't about kindness. It's about control. The overly attentive ally uses their charm to get close, to learn your weaknesses, to make you let your guard down. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who seems to know exactly what to say to make you feel special? They laugh at your jokes, mirror your interests, and always seem to be on your side. But over time, you notice they're asking questions that feel a little too personal. They want to know where you'll be next weekend, who you're meeting, or why you looked stressed yesterday. It's not curiosity, it's reconnaissance. These people are building a profile on you, not because they care, but because they're looking for leverage. I once read about a guy named Mark, who thought he'd found a new best friend at work. This colleague was always there, offering to grab lunch, covering a shift, even helping Mark move apartments. But then things got weird. The colleague started showing up uninvited to Mark's hangouts with other friends. He'd text late at night, asking oddly specific questions about Mark's plans or relationships. Mark brushed it off as clinginess until he realized his friend had been spreading rumors to undermine him at work. All while playing the loyal ally. The betrayal stung, but it could have been worse. For some, this kind of ally doesn't just sabotage your reputation, they aim for something far more permanent. The key here is to watch for inconsistencies. Does their kindness feel like a performance? Do their questions dig a little too deep? Are they always around, even when you didn't invite them? These are the signs of someone who's not just attentive, they're strategic. They're positioning themselves to strike when you're most vulnerable. So, next time someone's a little too perfect, ask yourself, what's their endgame? Sign number 3. The subtle saboteur. Now, let's talk about the person who undermines you in ways so subtle you barely notice until the damage is done. The subtle saboteur doesn't confront you or start drama. They chip away at your life bit by bit, planting seeds of doubt, spreading whispers, or creating small inconveniences that add up over time. Maybe they, accidentally, forget to pass along an important message at work. Maybe they make a backhanded compliment in front of others, disguised as a joke. Or maybe they nudge you toward bad decisions, all while pretending to have your back. Picture this. You're at a group dinner, and someone makes a comment that seems harmless but leaves you feeling off. Oh, you're still working on that project? I thought you'd have finished it by now. Everyone laughs, but you feel the sting. That's the subtle saboteur at work. They're not yelling or threatening, they're eroding your confidence, your relationships, or your opportunities, one calculated move at a time. The danger lies in how easy it is to dismiss these moments. We tell ourselves, they didn't mean it like that, or, I'm just being sensitive. But over time, those little jabs start to pile up. You miss a deadline because of a forgotten email. Your friends start acting distant because of a rumor you didn't even know was circulating. The saboteur's goal isn't just to annoy you, it's to isolate you, weaken you, and make you an easier target. I heard about a woman named Sarah, who had a coworker who seemed like her biggest cheerleader. This coworker would praise Sarah's work in meetings but then, accidentally, leave her out of key emails or miscommunicate deadlines. Sarah thought it was just carelessness until she realized her coworker was positioning herself for a promotion by making Sarah look unreliable. It wasn't just ambition, it was a deliberate campaign to push Sarah out. In more extreme cases, this kind of sabotage can escalate to something far more dangerous, like tampering with your safety or setting you up for failure in a life-altering way. So, how do you spot the subtle saboteur? Look for patterns of mistakes that always seem to hurt you. Pay attention to comments that feel like compliments but leave you questioning yourself. And most importantly, trust your gut when something feels off. The Stoics believed that wisdom comes from observing patterns and acting decisively. If someone's actions consistently leave you worse off, it's time to distance yourself before their sabotage turns into something more sinister. Sign number 4. The crocodile tears con artist. Let's move on to a sign that's as manipulative as it gets. The crocodile tears con artist. These people are masters of emotional manipulation, using fake tears, sob stories, or exaggerated displays of vulnerability to keep you close and keep you off guard. They'll tell you about their terrible childhood, their recent heartbreak, or their endless string of bad luck, all to make you feel sorry for them. But here's the truth. Their tears aren't about sadness, they're about control. Imagine someone who always seems to have a crisis right when you're about to set boundaries. You try to pull back, and suddenly they're crying about how they can't lose you, or how they're going through so much. It's hard to walk away from someone who seems so broken, right? That's exactly what they're counting on. By playing the victim, they keep you tethered, distracted, and less likely to notice their true intentions. I read about a man named James, who had a friend who always seemed to be in distress. This friend would call James in tears, begging for advice or help. Often late at night, James felt obligated to be there, even when it drained him. But over time, he noticed a pattern. The friend's crises always coincided with moments when James was succeeding, like landing a new job or planning a big trip. It was as if the friend couldn't stand to see him thrive. Eventually, James discovered that his friend had been spreading lies about him to mutual acquaintances, all while playing the helpless victim to keep James close. The crocodile tears con artist is dangerous because they exploit your empathy. They know that most people don't want to abandon someone in pain, so they weaponize that pain to manipulate you. To spot them, ask yourself, do their crises always seem to benefit them in some way? Do they lean on you excessively, but never seem to change or grow? If their vulnerability feels like a performance, it probably is. Protect your energy and set boundaries, because true danger often hides behind a mask of tears. Sign number 5. The chameleon charmer. Finally, let's talk about the chameleon charmer, the person who blends into your life so seamlessly. You don't even question their presence. They're likable, adaptable, and seem to fit in with everyone, from your coworkers to your family. But beneath that charm lies a dangerous ability to shift their personality to suit their agenda. They're not just friendly, they're strategically friendly, molding themselves into whatever version of a person you're most likely to trust. Think about someone who always seems to know the right thing to say. They're your biggest fan at work, your confidant at home, and your cheerleader in public. But over time, you notice they're a little too perfect. They agree with everything you say, mirror your interests, and never seem to have a strong opinion of their own. It feels great, until you realize they're doing the same thing with everyone else. 2. The chameleon charmer is dangerous because they're so hard to pin down. They don't leave a trail of obvious red flags, because they're too busy blending in. But their goal isn't connection, it's infiltration. They want to get close enough to know your vulnerabilities, your secrets, and your weaknesses, all while keeping you disarmed with their charm. I heard about a woman named Emily, who met a charming new friend at a networking event. This friend seemed to have everything in common with her, same hobbies, same taste in music, even the same quirky sense of humor. But months later, Emily realized this friend had been using her personal stories to gain favor with others, even leaking sensitive information to her competitors. The betrayal was devastating, but it could have been worse. Chameleon charmers often aim for more than just social sabotage. To spot the chameleon charmer, look for someone who seems too good to be true. Do they adapt their personality depending on who they're with? Do they avoid sharing anything real about themselves? Are they always agreeable, but never truly vulnerable? These are signs of someone who's playing a role, not building a relationship. Trust your instincts, and don't let their charm blind you to their motives. So, there you have it. 5 chilling signs that someone in your life might not just dislike you, but want you gone. The silent observer, the overly attentive ally, the subtle saboteur, the crocodile tears con artist, and the chameleon charmer. These aren't just personality quirks, they're warning signals, rooted in psychological patterns that predators use to mask their true intentions. The world is full of people who wear masks, and not all of them are harmless. But here's the good news. You have the power to protect yourself. By paying attention to patterns, trusting your instincts, and acting decisively, you can spot these dangers before they escalate. The Stoics taught us that wisdom is about seeing clearly and acting with purpose. So, start observing, start questioning, and above all, start trusting yourself. If this video opened your eyes, don't stop here. Hit that subscribe button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and drop a comment below. Have you ever encountered one of these signs in your life? Let's keep this conversation going. Stay vigilant, stay safe. I will go ahead and clarify some of the signs above. We just uncovered the chilling reality of the silent observer, someone who watches your every move with eerie precision, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But what happens when the danger isn't just in their gaze, but in their words and actions? Welcome to the next layer of deception, where the threat isn't loud or obvious, it's a quiet, calculated campaign designed to unravel your life from the inside out. Let's dive into the next 2 signs that someone doesn't just dislike you, they want you gone. Sign number 2. The Saboteur strategy. Imagine a shadow moving through your life. Invisible but relentless, planting tiny seeds of chaos wherever it goes. That's the Saboteur strategy, a chilling tactic rooted in psychological warfare. Studies show that when someone hears a lie about you, even if it's later proven false, their perception of you is tainted forever. That's how powerful suggestion is. And it's the saboteur's greatest weapon. These people don't just want revenge or to see you stumble, they want you isolated, cut off from your support system, left vulnerable and alone. This isn't petty office gossip or a snarky comment at a party. It's a deliberate, almost Orwellian campaign of character assassination, executed with such subtlety you might not notice until your world starts crumbling. To your boss, they whisper you're unreliable. To your friends, they hint you've changed or become toxic. Never a direct accusation, that's too obvious. Instead, they plant seeds of doubt, suspicion, and misunderstanding. Each incident so small it seems unrelated, but together, they form a web of destruction. Picture this. You're at work, and a colleague casually mentions to your manager that you missed a deadline, conveniently forgetting they forgot to send you the memo. Your best friend pulls away after someone mentions you've been talking behind their back. Suddenly, everything's falling apart, and you're left wondering, why is this happening? That's the saboteur's genius. They orchestrate chaos while staying in the shadows. They might pose as a concerned ally, offering sympathy while secretly pulling the strings. Their goal? To discredit you, to make you seem unstable, to sever your connections so when they strike, no one's there to help. I heard about a guy named Tom, whose coworker seemed like a friend but kept, accidentally, leaving him out of critical emails. Tom thought it was carelessness until he realized the pattern. Every mistake made him look bad, while his coworker climbed the ranks. It wasn't just ambition, it was sabotage. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." But the saboteur turns obstacles into a toxic fog, clouding your path. If you react emotionally, defending yourself, chasing rumors, you play right into their hands. The more you explain, the guiltier you seem. So, how do you fight back? Stay grounded. Document everything: emails, messages, timelines. Keep your truth sharp and your circle tight. The Stoics believed character shines through over time, and the truth endures. If someone's always near your conflicts, stirring the pot but never named, stop giving them the benefit of the doubt. They're not a friend, they're a strategist of destruction. Refuse to play their game. Sign number 3. The false friend facade. Now, let's get darker. The false friend facade is one of the oldest, most deceptive tricks in the book. We're wired to trust kindness, to see warmth as loyalty. But what if that friendly smile is just a mask? The false friend doesn't just want to get close, they want access. They pivot from distant acquaintance to your biggest fan overnight, with no clear reason. Suddenly, they're all in, asking about your schedule, your relationships, your fears, even your past traumas. It feels like connection, but it's a performance. Imagine someone who always knows the right thing to say, Who shows up with coffee just when you need it? Who listens to your deepest worries with a sympathetic nod? But then you notice their questions get too personal. They want details about your plans, your vulnerabilities, your life. Why? Not to help you, but to map your weaknesses. I read about a woman named Lisa, who met a friend at a party. This friend was charming, always there with advice or a kind word. But over time, Lisa noticed her secrets were leaking to others. And her friend always seemed to benefit from her missteps. It wasn't friendship, it was a setup. The false friend thrives on your trust. They build a bond to lower your guard, all while gathering ammunition. To spot them, ask. Does their closeness feel too sudden? Do their questions dig too deep? Are they always around, but you know little about them? Trust your gut. If their friendship feels like a script, it probably is. Protect your boundaries, because the false friend isn't just a bad pal, they're a predator in disguise. Stay tuned for the next signs. And don't forget to hit subscribe. This could save your life. We've just peeled back the mask of the false friend. Someone who uses charm and fake loyalty to worm their way into your life, only to exploit your trust. But what happens when their deception deepens, or their behavior takes a darker turn? Let's dive into the next 2 signs that someone isn't just playing games, they're plotting something far more dangerous. Buckle up, because this is where things get truly unsettling. Picture a wolf in sheep's clothing, slipping into your world with a smile so warm you'd never suspect the danger. The false friend facade isn't just about fake kindness, it's about surveillance disguised as support. These people don't just want to be your friend, they want to know everything about you. They cozy up to your family, linger around your workplace, maybe even offer to run errands or help with personal tasks. It feels like they're being thoughtful, doesn't it? But behind that comforting presence is a cold, calculating mind, mapping your life with surgical precision. Every secret you share, every vulnerability you reveal, becomes a tool in their arsenal. They're not building a friendship, they're constructing a blueprint of your weaknesses. Imagine this. Someone starts asking about your daily routine, your fears, or even your past traumas. At first, it feels like they're genuinely interested, like they see you, but then you notice they're always there, showing up at your favorite coffee shop, bumping into you at the gym, or casually mentioning details about your life you never shared. Why do they know so much? What are they really after? The Stoic philosopher Seneca once warned, "A friend is someone you trust with your soul. But trust must be earned, not given freely to anyone who smiles." This is where discernment comes in. If someone's interest feels too intense, too sudden, or too personal, it's time to hit pause. Predators know how to mirror your emotions, echo your words, even share just enough of their own vulnerable stories to make you drop your guard. But it's all an act. They're filing away your information like a spy building a dossier. And because they're wrapped in charm, no one, not even you, suspects a thing until it's too late. I heard about a woman named Rachel, who met a new coworker who seemed like the perfect confidant. This coworker was always there with a listening ear, asking about Rachel's family, her weekend plans, even her childhood fears. It felt like a fast friendship, until Rachel realized her coworker was using those details to manipulate her. Private stories were leaked to colleagues, and sensitive information somehow reached her boss, twisted to make Rachel look unreliable. The betrayal cut deep, but it could have been worse. False friends don't just want your loyalty, they want your vulnerabilities. And they'll use them to strike when you least expect it. So, how do you protect yourself? Slow things down. Guard your privacy like it's your most valuable asset. Because it is. Ask yourself, why is this person so eager to know the intimate details of my life? True friendships grow organically, over time, through mutual trust. If someone's rushing to get close, especially without a clear history, it's not connection, it's camouflage. Keep your circle intentional. And trust isn't just about who makes you feel safe, it's about who keeps you safe when your back is turned. Now, let's turn up the heat with a sign that's as horrifying as it is overlooked: calculated escalation. When someone harbors intentions darker than dislike, they rarely start with outright hostility. Instead, they test the waters, conditioning you to accept behavior that grows increasingly threatening over time. It starts small, maybe a joke, with a disturbing edge. Like, "I could totally get away with murder," followed by a laugh to brush it off, or a casual comment about violence that feels just a bit too pointed. These aren't random remarks, they're probes, designed to gauge your fear and test your boundaries. Picture this. You're at a casual gathering, and someone makes an offhand comment that sends a chill down your spine. "I know exactly how to hide a body," they say with a smirk, and everyone chuckles. You laugh too, but something feels off. Over time, those jokes get darker, their tone sharper. They start standing too close, brushing past you in a way that feels deliberate. Are they just awkward, or is something more sinister at play? Let me tell you about Leah, a young woman who moved into a new apartment complex in 2016. Her neighbor, Adam, seemed friendly but a bit odd. He'd offer to carry her groceries, join her in the elevator, or ask oddly specific questions about her schedule. At a building cookout, he joked about being a perfect killer who could erase evidence. Everyone laughed, but Leah felt uneasy. Soon, Adam's behavior escalated. He'd appear in hallways at the exact time she left for work, brushing past her without apology. Once, he blocked her apartment door, claiming he just needed to talk. Then came the moment that changed everything. Leah found a hunting knife on her doormat. No note, no explanation. The police called it a prank. But Leah knew better. She installed cameras, changed her locks, and started documenting everything. That's the key with escalating aggression. It's not random. It's a slow burn, designed to desensitize you until you're numb to the danger. To spot it, watch for patterns, comments that feel too dark, actions that push your boundaries, or moments that make your gut scream. Something's wrong. Don't dismiss those instincts. Document everything. Tighten your security, and don't hesitate to act. The Stoics taught that clarity and decisive action are your greatest defenses. If someone's behavior is creeping toward aggression, don't wait for proof. It's time to protect yourself. Stay tuned for the final sign. And don't forget to hit subscribe. This knowledge could be your shield. We've just explored the chilling escalation of aggression, where seemingly harmless jokes or subtle invasions of your space can signal a predator testing your limits. But what if the danger lies not in bold moves, but in a patience so calculated it's almost invisible? Let's dive into the final two signs that someone isn't just out to hurt you, they're planning something far darker. Brace yourself, because this is where the stakes get deadly. Imagine a storm brewing on the horizon. Quiet at first, but growing stronger with every passing moment. That's what escalating aggression feels like, a slow, deliberate buildup designed to desensitize you to danger. These individuals don't start with violence, they ease you into it, conditioning you to accept behavior that darkens over time. It might begin with an offhand comment, like, "I could totally take you out and no one would know," followed by a quick laugh to make it seem playful. Or maybe they brush against you in a hallway, just close enough to unsettle you, but not enough to raise alarms. Sound harmless? It's not. These are deliberate probes, testing your fear, your boundaries, your reactions. They're watching to see how much you'll tolerate before you push back. Take Leah's story from 2016. She moved into a new apartment and met Adam, a neighbor who seemed friendly but awkward. He'd carry her groceries, join her in the elevator, and ask oddly specific questions about her routine. At a community cookout, he joked about being a perfect killer who could erase evidence. Everyone laughed, but Leah felt a chill. Over time, Adam's behavior shifted. He'd linger in hallways at the exact time she left for work, brushing past her without apology. Once, he blocked her door, claiming he needed to talk. Then, one night, Leah found a hunting knife on her doormat. No note, just the blade. The police called it a prank. But Leah wasn't convinced. She installed cameras, and within a month, footage caught Adam at 2 a.m., gloved hands fumbling with her lock, a black duffel bag at his side. When arrested, authorities found his journal, a detailed map of Leah's movements, her favorite places, and a timeline labeled execution window. This is the terrifying truth. Predators don't leap to violence. They start small, using jokes or accidental invasions to normalize their presence. Seneca warned, "He who is forewarned is forearmed." If someone's comments feel too dark, their actions too close, Or their presence too calculated? Don't laugh it off. Document everything: dates, times, interactions. Tighten your security, trust your instincts, and act before the storm hits. Sign number 5. The patient predator. Now, we've reached the most dangerous sign of all: the patient predator. This isn't the hot-headed enemy who lashes out in anger or leaves obvious threats. No, this is the coldest kind of foe, the one who plays the long game with chilling precision. Picture a chess master, plotting every move years in advance, waiting for the perfect checkmate. That's the patient predator. They don't seek quick revenge, they wait months, even years, for the moment your guard is down, your routine breaks, or your support system thins. What makes them so terrifying? Their normalcy. They don't raise alarms, they raise trust. They're the coworker who's always dependable, the neighbor who waters your plants, or the friend who remembers your birthday better than your family. But beneath that calm exterior lies a strategist, collecting data with every conversation. They ask about your plans, not out of care, but to know when you'll be alone. Every favor they do, every connection they build, is a step toward crafting a false sense of security. Epictetus warned, first say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. But the patient predator's life is a performance. Their kindness bait, their goal betrayal. I heard about a man named David, whose neighbor always seemed too perfect, offering to mow his lawn, asking about his travel plans, even gifting him a bottle of wine for his promotion. But David later discovered this neighbor had been tracking his absences, planning a break in time for when he was out of town. The betrayal stung, but it could have been deadly. These predators wait for your mistake, the one moment you forget to lock a door or share too much. To protect yourself, be slow to trust, especially with those who push closeness too fast. Guard your plans, keep your boundaries sacred, and stay vigilant, even when everything seems fine, especially when everything seems fine. These 5 signs: the silent observer, the saboteur, the false friend, the escalating aggressor, and the patient predator, are not just red flags, they're warnings of danger hiding in plain sight. If someone's behavior has you second-guessing, don't ignore it. Your instincts are screaming for a reason. Save this video, because these signs may whisper again. And watch our next video on spotting covert narcissists. These tactics often overlap with their manipulative playbook. Knowledge is your shield, but action is your sword. Subscribe, share this with someone who needs it, and stay sharp. The devil doesn't come with horns, he comes wrapped in trust. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for staying with me until the end of today's journey. If you found value in what you just heard, don't forget to subscribe to Rise of the Stoic for more timeless Stoic wisdom, principles that help you live stronger, more mindful, and more resilient every day. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll dive deeper into another powerful Stoic topic: raw, practical, and deeply inspiring. Live like a Stoic, steady in the storm. Take care, and see you soon.